Hey everyone, welcome to another Let's Build. I am Nick Wood. You're on the Stranger Still channel, technically speaking. Today, I thought that since Doctor Who is restarting up after a year of absence, in April, I believe, I hope I'm not wrong, otherwise I'm going to look like an idiot, we would put together the LEGO Ideas TARDIS that came out, I think, at some point. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, have been for many years. David Tennant is my doctor, and I always say that if anyone says Matt Smith is their doctor, they're a poser, because they started in season 5 instead of like with a good doctor. Unfortunately, this LEGO set does not come with David Tennant. It comes with Peter Capaldi, Clara that I just randomly grabbed, and Matt Smith. But I do have one of my good friends gave me like the British Fagos. I think they're like creative build. I don't know. They had all the doctors made up in like some Fagos from the UK, and I have those, so I can pretend. It's just not 100% the same, which kind of sucks. So I don't think I have much else to say other than I'm really excited for Doctor Who, and the trailers looked really good. The companion reminds me of Donna so far, just from what I've seen in the previews. So, what do you think? Should we just hop in? So, they include instructions just in case you don't know who Doctor Who is, because you bought this $50, $60 set and you don't know who Doctor Who is. I already put those guys together. Oh, snap, I don't have a Weeping Angel put together. So I gotta find these pieces. Again, my stuff is already nulled out. So again, if you don't know what nulling is, just go watch my other video. And it kind of shows it. But to explain it, so we put everything out at right angles so you can easily see it. And you don't have to like go searching for pieces for hours in the various bags. So yeah, putting an angel together. Let's start this baby off. Let's see, there's like a bunch of small pieces in this set. Just in case you haven't watched my other video yet, I'll just kind of go over some of the same stuff that I said last time, which is my advice for building Legos is always null, and always grab the pieces that it says are going to be in the step before you start using them, because there will always be a time when you're working on something and you'll notice in the instructions there was something that you were supposed to add and you didn't, and it was like 30 steps ago. So now you've got to go back through and tear apart your Lego and insert that piece back in, or you can just do it right the first time. So, all these tiny little blue pieces. This is one of the more exciting builds, I would say, just because Doctor Who is one of my favorite shows. In fact, I don't watch a lot of TV. I think when people ask me what my favorite show is, it's like Doctor Who or Mythbusters, which isn't. I guess it's coming back, but it's not going to be the same. I just don't watch a lot of TV, and the TV that I do watch is Doctor Who or Netflix. So I do have a lot of time invested in Doctor Who, a lot of love invested in Doctor Who. I've gotten a lot of my friends into Doctor Who, which if you've never watched Doctor Who, I would say start on season 3, and I want to say episode 11 should be called Blink. That's the first episode with the Weeping Angels before Stephen Moffat ruined them in season 5. But anytime I tell people to watch Doctor Who and they go watch it without heeding my advice, they're like, dude, that show is awful. And that's because you started with these dumb plastic mannequins that are clearly just poorly constructed suits on the outside of regular people. And that episode isn't very good. And if you watch that, you're not going to sit through and watch the rest of it. So I always say start with Blink, because that will give you, this is how it was introduced to me, and this person, I'm just pretty much copying exactly what they said, is that it gives you a taste of what's to come. Because not every episode's good, not every season's good, not every companion is good, but Blink is so good that it gives you that necessary taste into what's to come. And if you haven't watched Doctor Who by now, go watch Doctor Who. What are you watching this for? This will stay here. Doctor Who is important. Go watch it. What am I doing? Okay, I need 4 of these. Alright. What do I need? I need... Where's that piece? Sometimes knowing doesn't even help because you don't know what you're looking for. Because I don't know what color that is. Is that black or that's dark gray? That is dark gray, and dark gray is up there. And there it is! That's why we know. Guys, that's why we know. Oh, this step is so hard. Oh, I did it. Sweet. Unfortunately, I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more silences during this build because this one is way longer than the last one. But I'll try to fill the silences as best as I can. Talking about whatever. Talking about my generation. Nah, I'm not going to talk about my generation. What piece is that? Oh, it's these. 2 long gray pieces. Oh, they're right there in front of me. There's like a million of them. Need those 2, and then 4 little venti guys. I'm sure they have like some sort of proper name. They're going on the far end. I used to be able to name, because I don't have a life, I used to be able to name like every episode, like you give me the name of an episode, I could tell you what number it was in which season. Companions are easy, but I could do that too. I really don't think that I can do that now. I think I can make a reasonable approximation. What the heck is going on here? Why can't I get this? There. Oh. Okay. That was just harder than it needed to be, I guess. Whoa, what is happening here? We need a circle. And we need a black square. Okay, I guess this goes in the middle of this. Like that. Whoops. Okay. And then this one blue piece. Blue piece comes off the back. This looks like a turtle so far. Look at that. Doesn't it just look like a turtle? Am I not turtly enough for the Doctor Who club? I wish that I was like way into Doctor Who in high school, because I definitely would have started a Doctor Who club. And I would have been that nerd. As if people didn't know I was a nerd already. And then I deserve to be beat up for my nerdiness. That's something else I said in the last episode, is that I love the Lego ideas. Because I don't have to put stickers. I was just looking at a piece over here. I don't have to put stickers on anything. It's all done for me. And oh my god, is that a relief. My wife did crochet me a Tom Baker scarf. Because my wife is the best person ever. And it took forever because holy crap is that thing long. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll probably put it up on the screen. Let's get these 2. I almost broke my cardinal rule of not grabbing all the pieces before I started a step. There we go. Sweet. After David Tennant, I would venture a guess that Tom Baker's my favorite. Just because he's very goofy. He just seems like the most doctor-y to me. When I think of Doctor Who, I love David Tennant, and he's my favorite Doctor, but Tom Baker, like, there's so much about the character that just feels like the Doctor. Like, his appearance is just goofy, and he's goofy, and he's unpredictable. He's smart. He sometimes seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. Oh, I put these one down too far. But he always knows what he's doing. There's some really cool storylines with him. Like when he goes to the planet that he had been to before and accidentally made like some huge influence and ended up having his face carved on the side of a mountain, and he's like, oh, whoops. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess I'll fix this before I leave. And of course he's got the cool companions like Sarah Jane, of course, and that barbarian woman and stuff. K9, can't forget K9. He's very doctory. This is dumb, but like the other thing I like about David Tennant is the theme song. I think it had the best theme song. All the other theme songs since then haven't been quite up to snuff in my opinion. It's a dumb thing, but that's how I feel. I wish I knew more useless facts about Doctor Who that I knew about Scooby-Doo. Speaking of little white things, I went and saw Get Out last night. And the only thing I could say after I got out of it was, white people are awful. It's a very good movie. Unfortunately, not as scary as I wanted it to be. Or not as scary as I thought it was going to be. It was I like scary things. And if I'm not scared adequately, like, I need a scary fix. So oh, okay, it snaps in there. So like I got out of there and I was like, oh man, I need to watch something like The Conjuring or something. It was good. But I was just led to believe it was going to be super scary. It was a thriller. And there's nothing wrong with that. Also, I saw the name Peele on it. It was like, by Jordan Peele. And I was like, of Key and Peele? Yeah, sure enough. Of Key and Peele fame. Jordan Peele wrote and directed it. And he did a really good job, in my opinion. I haven't really shown the spire that we're making yet. It's like the thing in the middle of the console. Working on something like this with all these tiny little pieces, it's really hard to keep things nulled. So like right now, just because my thumbs are ginormous or whatever, and I haven't eaten all day, so I'm kind of shaky, my pieces are all over the place now. Oh, those blue pieces aren't lined up. No! So good. Hang on, I think I can fix it. What's your favorite episode of Doctor Who? I think mine, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't keen on Matt Smith from the beginning. Only because he wasn't David Tennant. I felt like he was trying to be David Tennant, like trying to take his spot or whatever. I don't feel that way anymore. I also just didn't feel like, I guess it's mostly Stephen Moffat's fault, because a lot of like the episodes were bad in the 5th season, and like the whole thing with Fish Fingers and Custer, like it wasn't necessary. Just felt like he was trying to shoehorn this cute little thing he thought of into the show. He ruined the Angels for the most part. Like, let me talk about that for a second, and then I'll hopefully get back to my original point if I haven't forgotten it. Is that those 2 episodes in season 5, I think it's like 3 and 4, about the Weeping Angels is the worst. Actually, no, there's one episode that's worse than those 2, which I'll probably talk about too. And that one is the Let's Kill the Moon episode, or whatever. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Because in Blink, it was written by Stephen Moffat as well, and he did a really good job of setting up the lore for these angels, but not explaining too much, so there's still a mystery. But then also, at the same time, it's like this really defined creature. Like, it's got rules. If you look at it, it pauses, like it stops moving, etc., etc. You touch it, you go back in time, or it touches you, you go back in time. So it feeds off of your temporal energy or your potential energy or whatever. Potential energy. And then these 2 episodes come along, and it throws all that out the window. To the point where it's like, oh, they're going to snap your neck. And, like, they're not going to send you back in time because that doesn't work for our plot. And the thing that really made me mad was they showed on camera the angels moving. It's like, you ruined the whole thing that made them cool. You show them moving on screen. And then they just made up all these rules like, oh, you can see it in your mind's eye now, so like that means that your eyes are turning into an angel because they apparently have the power to make people turn into angels or something. It's the dumbest thing, and you can't just like, I don't know, you can't blue balls us like that. Like, here's this really cool creature and now we're gonna destroy it because Stephen Moffat doesn't care. Which is, I'm kind of glad that, I don't know if this will, I don't know what other people think on this because I haven't talked to anyone about it, but I'm kind of glad that this is Stephen Moffat's last season, because I feel like he's just been running the show into the ground slowly. And that's not to say that there aren't good episodes. Like, there are some of my favorite episodes are written by Stephen Moffat, like Blink or God Complex. I don't know if he wrote that one, but he directed it. That's besides the point. He was involved. So there's things that he's done that I really enjoy, but then he just, sometimes it feels like he doesn't care. And he's just like, sure, we'll do whatever. You want to make an episode where we go to the moon and the moon ends up being a giant egg and we make up rules like all of a sudden the Doctor can... Whoops, that's not right. I need to not look ahead. I think I put those on the wrong part. Yep, I sure did. This is what happens when you talk and not pay attention. Okay, so my least favorite episode is the dumb one where they go to the moon and he like makes Clara choose the fate of humanity or whatever, and all of a sudden he can just look into the time stream and see the future or what the future is at this exact time, even though it can change down the road if Clara makes the right decision. The Doctor's never been able to do that, and he never has since. And he just let this dumb writer who's really bad at writing things come up with whatever lore he wanted, and it was dumb. That's all. But I think, obviously, Blink is one of my favorite episodes. I also really like God Complex, which is in season 5. No, that's in season 6. Pretty sure. I think I need to pay a little bit more attention here. Season 5 had The Lodger, which was a really good episode with Craig. I think that was episode 11 as well. Because usually episode 11 is the episode that doesn't have, a companion. Alright, it's coming together. Building a little console here. I haven't really stopped to appreciate this as much as I did the Mystery Machine. It's just going to be these pieces. I'm just going to bring these pieces out because it's like the same step forever. Also, I have I think that Neil Gaiman needs to write more episodes because those are some of the best ones. Like Nightmare in Silver, Doctor's Wife. Neil Gaiman is just great all around. Love his books. I read... What did I read recently? Neverwhere. It's another example of where not explaining everything is actually really good to a story, because you leave a lot of mystery, and by the end of the book you still don't really understand everything, but you can reasonably assume. Whereas I feel like nowadays people go out of their way to explain everything, which you don't necessarily need to do if it's just like a superhero story. Like, you don't have to explain every little thing. Leave a little bit of mystery in there. Let people fill in the gaps for themselves or have that discussion with their friends to fill in those gaps. That's part of the fun of media consumption these days. Which, in some cases, that's something that Doctor Who does really well, is that they trust their audience just to either go along with it or draw their own conclusions or whatever. So there'll be moments where they, like they'll let the Master come back and they won't explain conclusions. Or they'll go through every effort to explain every little thing that you don't care about, like in the Kill the Moon episode. That's it for the console. Now, what are we going to build? satisfying click noise. Perfect. Alright, other side now. Look at that. So far so good, man. On to a Dalek, apparently. I'm gonna set this over here so it's not like in my workspace. Okay, on to the Tardis. Ooh, this is going to be like hard to even read those. So I need these 3 short pieces, and no, 2 of those short pieces and that. So this obviously goes in the corner. That goes there, and that goes there. All right, easy enough. There we go. We got doors. Woo! I haven't said anything in a long time other than this goes there and this goes there. So mostly kids showed up and then like all hell broke loose. So now that I think about it, this is like a totally random thing, but I think the first episode I ever saw after Blink, I watched Blink and then it left my conscious for many years. And then after that was The Fire Below, I think is the name of the episode, where there's like the guys writing all over his face. Like, I just turned on Sci-Fi Channel one day and it was on. And then the first, for some reason I'll never forget this, the first episode I saw with my wife was The Silence in the Library couple. They were like brand new on television. They had just come to TV. They were premiering in America or whatever. And we were in Georgia. And I think they were on Sci-Fi, actually, for some reason. Because I don't remember watching or thinking that they were on BBC America. I don't know if that was around at the time or what. I just skipped a step entirely where I put these on the edges here. But we watched both of them. It was playing last week's, which was the first episode of the two-parter, and then we side by side watched the second part. And that's how I introduced my wife to Doctor Who. She was my girlfriend at the time, but I didn't scare her away, and we're married now. Ooh, we're putting the details on here. So, police. I'll try to do this so you guys can see it. Oh, I need to build stuff first. Oh, okay. I was misled. There we go. So there's that. And then I gotta do it for the Blick all box. So those fall down like that. There you go. We're almost there, guys. Put these two. I'll move that. What? Haha! Missing this piece. I was about just to sub in a piece for it, but we found it. And that's our last piece. There we go. There's the top of the TARDIS. It just sits on here like that. Maybe? Yep, there we go. Dude, look at that. This is solid, dude. This feels great. I think it's the only way to describe it. Like, this is what I love, and I'll say this like every episode, is just how sturdy this stuff is. Like, it's well built. Like, it feels like a toy that was printed to be like this would feel, you know? Take the top off. So when we do that, and we flip these guys up, we can open the door. Oops, wrong side. Open the door, and then the rest of it connects in here like that. And you have the TARDIS. I guess you could probably, I'll set that there. Oh, and it comes with a little fez. I don't know. Yeah, it comes with a little fez. I don't know how we got 2 doctors in here at the same time, but there was some sort of temporal anomaly that allowed it. There you go. Beautiful. Dude, it is great. This thing looks awesome. I'm super stoked about it. Really excited about how this turned out. Although I have one leftover piece that I have no idea where it goes. So hopefully this thing doesn't fall apart in the middle of the night. But that was fun. I love putting this thing together. I really love how just the TARDIS turned out. This part of it. The outside of the ship. Sorry that I didn't talk a lot during that. It was mostly just me building this time. Hopefully that's okay with you. Make sure to check out the other videos on this channel. Listen to my podcast. It's called Stranger Still, where we talk about weird stuff that you'd never questioned to ask or put into Google and then research for yourself, so we do it for you. I host it with my friend John. You'll learn some stuff, and look out for the next one. I'll just keep making these because these are fun to do. So I don't know what we'll do next time, but I think I found part of a TIE fighter in my parents' basement that I had from a long time ago. It was in a Ziploc bag, so I don't know if all the pieces are there, but I think it'd be pretty fun to put together and then try to piece it together if all the pieces aren't there. So that'll probably be the next build. And make sure that you subscribe for the next ones, and tell your friends, and share it. And if you liked it, let me know in the comments. And if you didn't like it, also let me know in the comments. I don't really care, just so long as you let me know what you thought. I've been Nick Wood, and thanks for joining me on this build. I'll see you next time, guys.